Welcome to the fish tank.
Hey everybody, Fishman here. I'd like to start off by wishing everyone a happy new year, and hopefully Santa Claus was good to you. You had plenty to eat and lots of rest over the holidays. And also, I would like to thank everyone for all their wonderful support. It surprises me that people will sit down and watch my videos and actually enjoy them. It's a great honor, and thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to do so. And that actually brings me to kind of a New Year's resolution. I'm kind of, I'm a very busy person. I have lots of, 60 hours of work a week, so it's kind of hard to upload videos regularly. But I am actually going to try and set a regular day and have a video ready to go. And I'm not sure what day it's going to be yet, but I suspect it's going to be like on a Friday. And hopefully this won't be those kinds of New Year's resolutions that disappear by week 2 or 3 into January, but we'll give it a go. Now this is the DIY drop-off river tank, or I gotta figure out which one I'm gonna call that eventually. And if you remember from where we left off, the tank is up and running. It's got fish in it and a few plants. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna hang a light system over it. I had a discussion with the client, and we decided to keep the edge as clean as possible. So this is going to be suspended over the tank, and it has the same dimensions as the top of the tank. Now this is a 24 volt LED system instead of the usual 12 volts that I use, because I want a little bit more punch. There's no real room to run lots of strips over the tank, and I also, these if you notice that on the strips there, they have a bit of a lens to them, so it focuses the light better. And also because they're already pre-mounted on aluminum, I can tilt it a bit, and that way it'll aim towards the center of the tank. Now the mounting system I've chosen for this is these eye bolts. The reason for that is they're about 2 inches long, and they have enough thread that I can do a little bit of adjusting. So by slackening off one or tightening one, I can bring this up to as perfect a level as I can get. And the reason for that is if you have two lines that are not parallel, it kind of draws your eye, and it will detract from the whole system. So I've put the wires up in the ceiling already. There's a drop ceiling here. I didn't bother showing you that part of it because it's just me standing on a ladder with my head stuck in the ceiling, and you don't really get to see anything anyway. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put the frame on top of the tank, and what we're going to do is attach the back wires permanently, but the front wires are going to be left just with duct tape holding it in place. The reason for this is twofold. First off, I'm going to have to make adjustments to get everything properly aligned before I crimp everything in with those little metal tabs that you saw. And secondly, because this is before the holidays, the client was actually in and out of the office a lot, so he wasn't really around to give the final okay on if everything is at the right height, if everything's aimed properly, and just in general if you like the lights, because like I said, he's a busy guy, I'm a busy guy, and sometimes we just sort of miss each other when we're trying to set things up. So what I'm doing here is, this is the back eye hook, and I need to feed the wire through the small little crimping loop, and I managed to fray the ends of the wire. So what I have to do now is just cut that at an angle, which will give me a bit of a point, and that way I can feed it through much more simply. This is going to be the permanent anchor point, so what I need to do is, after I adjust it for length of wire and that sort of stuff, is just crimp it down nice and tight, and then as I feed it through the front loop, I'll just use a bit of duct tape, and that way it gives me a chance to adjust it quite a bit. Up in the ceiling, the bar that this fits over, the support structure for the drop down ceiling, it's just a matter of just twisting it back and forth to adjust for the level from back to front. Now the side to side adjustment is the hard one, because I have to ballpark it like I am right now, just by looking at it, adjusting it a little bit, tape it into place, and then step back, use the level, of course, and then gradually over almost an hour, with finer and finer adjustments, managed to get it level and get it centered over the aquarium. As you can see, it's not right now. The centering is actually quite easy because, like I said, the bar up on top that the wire loops over runs in the same direction as the tank, so it's just a simple matter of sliding that back and forth to adjust it for how it hangs over the tank from right to left. So that's pretty much most of the details for this. Those wires you see hanging down will be fed up and anchored inside once everything's been okayed, and then there's going to be an extension cord you see it's going to hang down here when I fire this up the first couple of times, but that will all feed up along that wire and through the drop down ceiling later on, and then it'll all be hidden. So after all that lengthy adjustment for height and level and everything else, I'm ready to fire this up for you guys. And there you go. I think it turned out really quite well. The lights burn at about 6K. I think 10K would have been a little bit better for this point. But in the long run, once that driftwood cures more and it runs lower on releasing tannic acids, it'll be a little less yellow to the water, and I can water change that out, and I think it'll be a lot clearer then. And I think that would be a much nicer look to it. The pothos has died back a bit, and some of the hornwort has as well. But then again, it's just been running off of fluorescent lights in an office, so it's going to take a little time for this to grow through. But I think once it starts growing, it's going to look really quite sharp. And also you can see there's a bit of, I did a big water change on this before I turned on the lights, so there's a bit of bubbles in the glass. But I actually really like this kind of angle because it's really neat how the water level, and I do plan on bringing the water level up a little bit more, is nice and clean with the edge of the tank. I do like rimless tanks that way. That input that you see there, I plan on putting adjustment on it so that it shoots water more at the surface. That's going to give a bit of a ripple effect on the top. I think that's going to look really quite cool. And the lower edge that you see where the, hold on a sec, right there, where you can still see the wood in the frame of the glass and stuff, that's all going to get covered at the end of this video as well. And then it's just a simple matter now of letting this mature. Oh, actually, the female holding eggs there. That's kind of cool. So they like it at least. And then it's just a matter, yeah, I'm going to wake the bubbles off there. It's just a matter of letting this age. And then I think it's going to start looking quite nicely. And once all the plants start growing, there's moss on the rocks and that sort of stuff. And I will do an update on this because I do want to show you guys probably about 6 months what this tank is going to, well, the final sort of details of it all. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you again, like I said in the beginning there, for all your support. And I will do my best to try and have regular updates. It might work out, it might not. We'll see how it goes. This is me putting on the final trim. I don't put the final trim on these tanks at the beginning because I want to see how it settles and see if there's any stress on that seam. But you see it's nice and clear. There's no issues with it, so I can cover it up now. And this is just a matter of gluing on the aluminum. And once it's sanded, you can't get that off. Actually reminds me of the next video I'm going to be putting up. Hopefully I will try and do that for Friday. It'll be my first Friday video. I am going to start doing some of the backlog of promised videos. And one of the videos I promised to do for Sam at Ottawa LED a while ago is he wanted a video showing how to refinish aluminum. So I'm going to show him how the process for how this all got done and how he can... He ended up getting this counter for as a display counter for the various lights and whatnot that he has, and it was used, so it has some dings and nicks in it and whatnot. And I'm going to show him how I can bring that up to a nice polish without, well, not too much effort, I guess. So anyway, thanks again for watching, and hopefully I will see you guys on Friday. Thanks again.